for the Middle East. The Austro-Hungarian Empire got split up to two different nations after the Second World War. They both were independent, but then Hungary got under the influence of the Soviet Union and became communist. All this was happening because of what happened in the Great War.
Now, while you're in the trenches, we don't expect you to starve. There will be field kitchens available in the rear, but you're not going to have that when you're actually at the front. Now, as compared to during the Civil War, where your only ration is going to be hardtack, which, when we finish talking, you will get to try if you're brave enough. Don't try it if you have broken teeth. Hardtack is supposed to be hard enough that you can beat it on your helmet, and your helmet will break before the hardtack does, but it'll last forever. Now, we have a recent invention known as canned food. Canned food makes it so your regular food no longer needs to be kept cool, salted, or anything like that, and it will not spoil quickly. The most common is bully beef. Bully beef, known nowadays as corned beef, is beef that has been preserved and sent out in cans. Some people love it, some people hate it. However, it is what will keep you alive. You also will have Pt2 stew, which is essentially beef stew with a little bit more to help you stay feeling full. Now, you will also have lots of free time. During that free time, I suggest you keep yourself busy. You can do something like that belt buckle, or you can make trench art from old artillery shells. This one is from the Battle of Verdun we were not involved in. This was the French versus the Germans, where the famous saying, "Not one step back," came from, and they shall not pass. The French just dug their heels in and decided they weren't going to give one more inch. It was also the longest battle of the war, lasting over a year. You also have the Battle of...
God knows.
I believe this one's Flanders, but it's from a British unit, the Royal Rifles in 1916. We also were not involved in that. Can someone tell me why we were not involved? We haven't entered the war yet. It's 1916. You also will need to make sure you will be able to heat your food and cook in your canteen cup. Your canteen cup stays with your canteen on your belt. You will also keep your dog tag on your body at all times. This is a reproduction, but it is a good example of what the original tag would look like. However, your food is going to be much better than your your Central Powers counterparts. The Central Powers are going to be starving. However, you will get meat. During the Battle of Gallipoli, there was a lot of training going on. That will not happen. You do not give the Germans your food, you keep it for yourself. Oh, perfect. You will also be issued a mess kit. When you go to your field kitchen, you will eat out of this. It will give you a chance to actually have a hot meal, as compared to the bully beef or other iron rations, because they're in a steel can. Thanks, sir.
As earlier, food was in short supply. Already went over what happened to Germany, Russia.
I'll back it up.
Okay. Germany, when they retreated back there, they lost their monarchy and became a republic. Food became increasingly scarce after 1916. And the food was available in about half to what was at the end of the war. One of the things that Mr. Hoover did after the war, with Mr. Wilson's blessing in that, we shipped grain to our allies to get along, and some to the Germans so they didn't starve. He is also known as a great humanitarian. Similar to what happened is the Marshall Plan in 1945. The bread, you gotta love it. It is an overrated with sawdust to stretch it, to help fill you up. Good word.
It's all good.
Nor. It is a mixture of peas, a soup base, and animal fat that should be reconstituted into a simple soup. much like today's mortars, volume shields. So it still exists. At the end of the war, the people only had about 14% of the meat available. So if you had a half a pound of food to consume at the beginning of the war, you were left with like one slice of thin bologna. That's how bad it got.
Now, thankfully, at the end of the Argonne Offensive, this horrible war will be over. On the 11th hour, of the 11th day of November of the 11th month, there will be an armistice. That is when the last shell will be fired. However, you will continue to fight until the last minute. When you hear the artillery quit firing, that is when you can stop. Unfortunately, several thousand will die on the very last hour of the war. Now, as Ted mentioned, when the war ends, it will reshape the world. You will see the U.S. dollar falling. You will see the collapse of the German Empire. The German Empire will become the Weimar Republic. And when the Weimar Republic fails due to massive inflation, where trillions of dollars and marks were unable to buy a single loaf of bread, there will be a rise of a new dictator, known as Adolf Hitler of the National Socialist Party of Germany. As he mentioned, Russia, the Bolshevik Empire, will collapse. The Tsar will be replaced with a Communist Party. That Communist Party will lead to many more wars in the future. The Vietnam War, the Korean War, countless actions in South America. The Central Powers will completely collapse. The Ottoman Empire will collapse and become a republic. However, the countries that were part of it, such as Iraq, Syria, and Iran, will become a problem in the future, to say the least. You will also see small changes, such as, in order to make equal anchors for the Marine Corps faster, they will redesign it that it is easier to stamp out. This is from pre-World War I, this is post-World War I to modern day.